Being a female entrepreneur is not exactly easy. I left my job in corporate America 4 years ago and started my own production company. Had I known how difficult it would be, I might have rethought my path.
Regardless of what you believe in, I think we could all perhaps agree that we want positive programming for our children. And my heart is to promote the community, and many of you don't know the television industry, but the way it works is a network can do a network deal with you, but then they're going to tell you what to put on TV.
Starts with a state of mind and see you at the top. Just leave your fears behind. If you believe it, you can achieve it. We'll see you.
I want a show that's inspiring and authentic and just real. I want to make a difference. And media is my platform to do that.
Believe it, you can achieve it. We'll see you at the top.
As women in business, we often feel we have to have the perfect plan and things all figured out before we can start. The truth is, sometimes when we jump in and get our hands dirty, we're able to figure out what we need to be successful.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Janeé.
Hi, Janee. I'm Callie. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. I'm really excited about getting to chat with you.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming today.
Absolutely.
We're going to have a good time. We'll teach you a little bit about the company, and you get to pump some porta potties. As you can see over here, we've got the truck ready for you.
I'm pumping potties.
Yeah, you are. Are you going to wear that?
I didn't
Or
know
did
I
you
was
want to
pumping
change?
potties.
Oh.
Thought I was just interviewing you.
No, I thought it'd be a good opportunity for you to kind of see what everybody experiences in this industry on a day-to-day basis. And it might be something that you really grow to appreciate too.
All right. Well, I guess I'll get changed.
Okay, great. Yeah, you can just use one of these too.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
We're off to a good start.
Okay, ready to clean some toilets.
This seems like it would be predominantly a male industry. Is that correct or incorrect?
It is correct. And as a younger woman, it was difficult for me to find employees that would implement the programs that I wanted to put into place. So fortunately, I have a great team and a great staff that helps all of my portable sanitation dreams come true and put it into everyday work so we can be the best toilet company in North Texas.
What's the key as a woman in business to not let it be a stinky job?
Not being afraid to actually do it. I understand that I'm not in a truck 60 hours a week sucking out porta potties and rinsing them down, but when the opportunities were presented to me, I did win a FEMA contract in 2008, and I had to move up to Cedar Rapids. I took one person that knew a little bit about cleaning toilets. We set up shop, we lived in a trailer park, we bought brand new trucks, brand new toilets, and hired and taught local residents how to properly do this job, and we ran that contract for 3 months in Cedar Rapids.
It sounds like just getting your hands dirty and figuring it out.
Getting your hands dirty and figuring it out, and that's probably the biggest thing that we live by.
Well, I guess that's my cue. Maybe we can all learn from this woman, encouraging us to embrace the unknown and just give it a go.
We have Cesar Colorado here with us, and he is going to be assisting us with getting everything going. The first and most important thing that needs to happen is we need to start the truck and engage the PTO, and that's what's going to make the wand that you're going to stick inside of the toilet tank, suck the waste out of it. I try to make it sound glamorous, but I can't.
Now what do I do?
Put the pipe inside. Pull the lid on. Every time you get out your mouth.
After that's done, then we can shut the PTO off, and we're gonna get a 5-gallon bucket and mix it with chemical. You're gonna have a scrub brush. You're gonna scrub the unit down, paying close attention to the bottom of the door, because a lot of people will kick their feet on it.
I'm actually
Around.
scrubbing.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna have to scrub them around the tank, inside the lid. Make sure there isn't any waste or anything on the seat.
Good job. Could you clean 70 to 100 of these a day?
No.
After that's all completed, you're gonna rinse it all down with fresh water and dump the chemical mix into the tank. Once that's complete, we restock the toilet paper and you move on to the next unit.
Now, how did you get into this crappy business, if you will?
I got into it through family, and when I first moved down here, the company had just opened and we had 100 units on rent. My first job was to drive around the entire Metroplex that I didn't know my way around with one of the drivers in a truck and locate all the toilets so we could form routes, because it was a little bit disorganized. Every day the two guys got into 2 different trucks and went around and cleaned toilets. Now we're way more sophisticated. We have about 1,500 units on rent, and everything has its own specific route day and its own specific order. So it's all very organized.
Organized and successful. A lot of us can't fly by the seat of our pants with the same great results Callie has gotten. Lucky for us, there are resources. Women who have paved the way and are willing to share their wealth of experience in the working world.
When I came to Dallas, I could not join the Rotary Club. There were a lot of things I was not allowed to do. I was not allowed to play golf on Saturday morning. There were so many restrictions against women that are almost all gone today.
You know, we've biked on the trails and the streets and roads for years, and people would join us, and we had a core crew, and we started talking about the Tour de Fort Worth several years ago, and we kind of did it corresponding with the Tour de France, and then last year we expanded it a little bit, and then this year we turned it into Tour de Fort Worth, the rolling town halls.
Valerie Freeman has definitely seen changes with women in the working world in her role as president of In-Premise Staffing.
When I came to Dallas, I could not join the Rotary Club. There were a lot of things I was not allowed to do. I was not allowed to play golf on Saturday morning. There were so many restrictions against women that are almost all gone today.
Women have come a long way in business, but it's not an even playing field yet. There are plenty of good old boys clubs still around. But sometimes it's not the boys, rather us gals who hurt ourselves.
Valerie, what are some of the mistakes that you've seen women make in business?
Oh my goodness, I think that sometimes women don't really take control of their careers like they should. I don't think they take enough chances. I don't think they take enough risk. And I think that's what holds some of them back.
When you see kind of men versus women, and you own a staffing company, so what are some of the differences you see in men versus women when applying for jobs?
Well, I think women need to be very careful about their appearance, in that, you know, men look the same all the time, but women have the opportunity to dress in a million different ways and wear their hair in a million different ways, and they need to be very careful about looking professional and having an updated look. That's one thing. I think the other thing, the difference between men and women when applying for a job is that, and I'm not sure this is much of a difference, but they really need to think about the value they bring to the company. And sometimes women are not as, I guess, likely to talk about themselves. They don't like talking about themselves and talking about their strengths like men are sometimes.
Being a successful woman in business, what would you attribute to your success?
Well, I have patience and perseverance, which is something you have to have. Not everything goes right all the time, and sometimes it's very, very difficult.
It's finding your niche and making yourself relevant and compelling. That's true of any brand, whether it is a product or a person. I think particularly for women, we're not probably as comfortable networking, and we've got to push ourselves out there to do that, because in business, and particularly in consulting, it is who you know gets you to the next who you know, gets you to the client opportunity. And that's often an after-hours effort, either breakfast, lunch, evening networking events. Well, for a lot of us, we have families at home and children, and there are other parts of our lives that become important to us. So if I'm starting my own business, if I'm starting my own consulting practice, I really have to figure out how I'm going to balance my commitment to growing this and creating my own income, and the fact that I've got soccer practice, or I've got a child getting ready to go to college, or I need to I've got some family social event, and I've got to be the one to run by the grocery store and get the groceries and plan the dinner and get that part done. So you compound all those things that you've been juggling all these years, particularly when you step out and do it as your own business. When I'm doing it for a company, there are other people around me that can kind of pick up the slack if I have to go do those things. When I'm running my own company, it's me. And I've got to figure out how I'm going to juggle those things. So I think the juggling act, which women I think are very good at doing, it just becomes a little bit more complex, a little bit more challenging.
Don't I know it? As I attempt to change the way people see media, I'm finding some people are resistant to the idea that a high-profile woman in a very visible position really cares about helping others.
My husband said, I know, not no, but heck no. And then the more we talked about it, and we prayed about it, and talked to our minister about it, and talked to our children, and finally he came in one day and said, it's the right thing to do.
But a full 80% of female business owners are former Girl Scouts, 67% of all women serving in Congress, all 3 Secretaries of State, 22 NASA career astronauts. So when we tell our girls to shoot for the moon, we really mean it.
Getting involved in the community where I live is important to me. It keeps me centered. It is very easy to do in a city where the mayor sees people and volunteerism as some of the biggest assets we have. Every week, Mayor Price takes the message on the road, inviting the public to cycle with her around Fort Worth. I'm not sure how well I'll do at cycling, but I do know I'll enjoy seeing the mayor.
Now, I haven't really been around a lot of mayors, but I have been around you a little bit, and I would say you're not the typical mayor.
Probably not. I've been described as atypical several times. So.
And where does that kind of spunk come from? Obviously, your love for people.
It's a love for people. It's a passion for the community. It's just getting out and doing the right things. It's having worked on my own for years, my own business, and then working in the county tax office. And, it's just actually who I am.
When you were a little girl, would you have ever thought you would have been a mayor?
No, never in a million years.
And what really inspired you to pursue this path?
Well, I didn't set out to be mayor. I got drafted to be mayor. I mean, we had major success in the tax office. We turned that office around and saved a lot of taxpayer dollars. They had a very smooth operation, and people started coming in and saying, if Moncrief doesn't run, and we all hoped he would, will you run? I said, no, it's too big a commitment. I'm not going to do that. And more people started coming, from my friends, volunteer friends, community leaders, some of our other elected officials, and we finally said, oh, I don't know. My husband said, I know, not no, but heck no. And then the more we talked about it, and we prayed about it, and talked to our minister about it, and talked to our children, and finally he came in one day and said, it's the right thing to do. You love public service, you love working with people. I think you've been called to do something. I said, okay, we'll do it, and if we win, great. If we don't, then that's great too.
And the rest
here
is
we are.
history.
The rest is history.
What would you say to women who are maybe thinking, gosh, I could never do something like be a mayor, and maybe they're afraid to dream bigger?
Oh, they can do anything. Just do it. Just start small. I think there's nothing better for anyone, men or women or anyone, than to get involved at the volunteer level. Those volunteer experiences will take you miles. When I ran for tax assessor the first time, one of the premier political consultants here said, you can't win this. You don't have the name ID. You don't have the you don't have the experience. You just have volunteer in your business. And I said, you hide and watch what those volunteers will do. And my grassroots army came out, and we won that one handily. And we did again this time. So get involved at whatever level it takes. And you can do anything. And you'd be surprised where you go along the way.
Now, you've always been a biker, right?
Yeah, for about 25 years.
And now you're bringing the community along with you.
Hopefully. That's
Yeah.
what we're trying to do.
And when you first set out to do this, what was the response?
Very good. You know, we've biked on the trails and the streets and roads for years, and people would join us, and we had a core crew, and we started talking about the Tour de Fort Worth several years ago, and we kind of did it corresponding with the Tour de France, and then last year we expanded it a little bit, and then this year we turned it in Tour de Fort Worth, the rolling town halls. And people come and talk to me. A girl just talked to me about the garbage trucks and said, you need to add magnets to them to pick up the tacks and the nails that are on the street after this last storm. That's the kind of stuff you hear from people on the bikes. Plus, it's just fun to get them out. We've had great turnout for them.
So let's go check
Definitely
it
a
out.
biker. Let's go check it out. But before we go, you have to have a helmet.
What is it going to do to my hair?
It'll give you helmet head, but that's all right.
All right.
You just look like you've been out enjoying it.
All right, let's go
All
do
right,
it.
let's
Okay.
go.
It was fun to ride alongside this fearless female, although I didn't exactly finish the ride. But Mayor Price is a woman who makes it seem very easy balancing her family, her work, and an entire city. She's a true leader who learned the value of hard work and community service as a child. Thankfully, some of tomorrow's leaders have that same spirit today.
And people know us best perhaps for the Girl Scout Cookie Program. But we are the world's premier leadership development organization for girls and young women, and that's a pretty bold statement.
I renovated and expanded the garden at Sunray Community, which is a government-subsidized low-income housing development for Chinese immigrants.
Learning leadership skills is a lifelong journey. Fortunately, there are young ladies who are getting a head start. Through the Girl Scouts of America, girls are developing business plans, shadowing work professionals, and completing leadership classes. They're creating projects with lasting effects, proving hard work can pay off, whatever your age. Colleen, tell me about the Girl Scouts. It seems like an incredible program.
Absolutely. And people know us best perhaps for the Girl Scout Cookie Program. But we are the world's premier leadership development organization for girls and young women, and that's a pretty bold statement. So for example, 10% of girls and young women are Girl Scouts at any point in time, but a full 80% of female business owners are former Girl Scouts. 67% of all women serving in Congress, all 3 secretaries of state, 22 NASA career astronauts. So when we tell our girls to shoot for the moon, we really mean it. And so we are very firmly in the leadership pipeline. And we think with the 21st century, we need more women in that pipeline, getting their voices out into the communities, into our companies, and really helping to lead our world because it's so complex today.
Well, I'm excited to meet some of these Girl Scouts.
All right, let's go meet them.
Okay.
So you all are real life Girl Scouts, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. You're looking at some books. What do we have here?
This is my brownie scrapbook from a couple years back. That was pretty cute.
You were pretty cute.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Girl Scouts.
You know, Girl Scouts has been something that I started when I was little. It's been something that I've just done for a long time, and I really love it. You know, it teaches me different things, and for example, like I learned how to cook on a campfire. It also teaches you other things like just, you know, leadership skills or just community service.
And what are some of the leadership skills that you guys have learned here?
I've learned great communication skills and organization skills, stuff I've picked up from different classes I've attended and different workshops.
So you keep scrapbooks.
Yes.
Now, do you have scrapbooks too?
I have a book, and it was it's a kind of a notebook that I put together for my Gold Award project. And so I have some of the prerequisites and just really pretty much everything that I did from the project.
And what's a Gold Award?
It's the highest level award that you can earn in Girl Scouts, and it takes, I think, about 60 hours is the minimum requirement for it, and it's really, you know, your own just contribution to the community, and it's, you know, done through Girl Scouts, but it's such a learning experience as well as, you know, a community service project.
So what was your project?
For my project, I renovated and expanded the garden at Sunray Community, which is a government-subsidized low-income housing development for Chinese immigrants. And so I, you know, they originally had a garden, but it was pretty run down, and so I expanded that and added some pathways going through there. And you know, it was just a place that the homebound, you know, residents could go to enjoy, you know, the new country that they were coming to.
I think you guys you ladies rather, have given me a thing or two to think about. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing where your journeys take you. I love seeing the sweet taste of success in these young ladies. Being successful women in business is possible. We just have to commit to figuring things out, surrounding ourselves with a strong network, and constantly looking for ways to better our communities.